This is one of the most exclusive Mercedes-Benz ever. That's because it's not actually a Mercedes, but a Brabus. It's called the Rocket GTS and it's based on the SL 63E Performance. GTS stands for Gran Turismo Shooting Brake because this car has a bespoke body. It's also got a bespoke interior and of course, an up-rated engine. I'll give you more details on this later as part of the review. I'm also going to take this car on the Autobahn to see how fast I can get out of it. Here we go, steer restricted. That's going to be pretty scary because it costs £1 million. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson and you are watching Carwow. Brabus is one of the most famous tuning companies in the world. It began in the late 1970s when founder Bodo Buschmann modified his Mercedes S-Class to be as quick as a contemporary Porsche 911. Since then, Brabus has made some of the fastest and most extreme Mercedes of all time, such as the record-breaking EV12 and the original CLS Rocket, which could hit 227 miles an hour. However, this all-new Rocket GTS is arguably even crazier, but not just because it has more power. This is the first time Brabus has completely re-engineered a car's body to give it a totally bespoke shape, and I've never seen anything like it before. Well, maybe apart from these cars. So it's quite clearly based on a Mercedes. It looks like the GT, but it's not. It's actually based on the SL because you want the convertible platform because there is a convertible version of this. So even this coupe version is based on the SL. The thing that really stands out is that all the body panels, carbon fibre, and you just have to check out the weave, look at it. So you've got this blue paint, which is transparent here on this car. But you can get different colours as well, such as this green and this red. They're loading in a load of pallets down there. Anyhow, I'm going to continue. I'm not going to let that stop me. They've designed this car in the wind tunnel so it doesn't just like take off at high speed. And as you can see, you've got this like aggressive front nose here, big Brabus logo there, another one there. And even these like little bits here in the grille, they're carbon fibre. It's incredible. There's actually 3 bits on this car which are standard to the normal SL. See if you can figure out what they are, and we'll come back to that at the end of this walk round. Okay, moving down the side, we have 21-inch alloy wheels at the front, once again bespoke with these kind of like aero covers. At the rear, they're 22, so you've got a bit more rake for added aero and downforce. This part of the side, I was hoping that was going to be vents, but no, it's fake. I would poke it with a stick to illustrate that, but I've got the guys from Brabus there. That would be a little bit awkward, even though this car is covered with PPF so that it doesn't get scratched. It's incredible, like all this part here, the way they've actually made this out of carbon fibre. I'd love to see the production process. Be insane. One thing I'm a little bit surprised at is that they didn't change the door handles. You know how Porsche did for their GT division with the 911 GT3 RS? Andreas Preuniger was like, I'm not having those horrible like poppy-outy door handles, and he had the old school door handles. They've still kept those door handles. Oh well. What they have done though is fitted their own glass. Look, that's Brabus glass. Brabus glass. I suppose they have to because Mercedes doesn't make this shape, does it? Moving down to the back, this is my favourite part of it. Just this area. Oh, it looks so good. The car's actually wider than a standard SL, so it's got even more presence. And then as we get round here, just with the back window, this little ducktail spoiler, and once again you can really see the weave in different lights. It's lovely. Then we've got the Brabus exhaust there. It's like on an AMG. We have twin exhaust pipes beyond there. These are a little bit fake. And then we have a diffuser here and the Brabus logo there at the back. And even the Brabus logo is in carbon fibre. Okay, could you guess which parts of the car aren't changed over the standard? I'll show you what they are. Tail lights, door mirrors, and the headlights. Now, for someone like Brabus, trying to change the headlights, you have to go through a whole homologation thing. That's just not going to be cost efficient, but everything else externally, it's all new. The general interior design is exactly the same as a normal Mercedes SL. However, Brabus have taken all the parts, stripped off all the trim and completely reconfigured them. The only thing that really hasn't changed is the infotainment system and the digital driver's display and stuff like the rear view mirror and this pod up here. But if you look closely, there's like these bits of trim are anodized. Look, even round here, round here, round here, round here, round here, round here, and the door switches and all of that stuff. They take all those little bits apart and then anodize them. They like strip it into all its little components. It's crazy. Then obviously there's the leather. So this is Brabus's leather, and you can choose whatever color. This is grey, but you could have had it pink if you wanted. And one thing I've noticed is sometimes when you get these aftermarket companies that do interiors, there's always a bit like wonky stitching, but here
I mean, like here, and oh, up there as well, that's nice. The quality control is like OEM, it really is. Like here on the seats as well. That's what you're getting like this bespoke exclusivity, but with like OEM quality. The only thing that I've noticed is this, there's a bit more of a gap here maybe than on that side. This is the first car they built, so it could be that reason. We've actually got ambient lighting up there as well, but it uses the normal colours through the Mercedes system. It's just that there's more ambient lighting bulbs around the place. Steering wheel, obviously they've taken it apart. You've got the normal like controls like you get in the Mercedes, but then you've got this leather, you've got carbon, you've got the Brabus embossed thing here on the stalks. Once again, it's the Mercedes stalk, but look, it's got anodized stuff. It feels really nice. In fact, the only cheap bits that you feel in here, right, they're the bits they haven't changed. They're the Mercedes bits. It's a bit weird looking up here as well and seeing like there's the switch for the roof, but obviously it hasn't got the retracting roof. Look at even the floor mats, just leather. Then you have the practicality of Isofix on the front passenger seat. What else do I need to show you? I feel like there's so much more. Ah, yeah, look, obviously you've got Rocket there on the dash. But then in the seat belts, quite subtle that, but I like it. And obviously the door panel there on the kick plate, you've got Brabus and it's illuminated. But then you've got all the usual stuff that you have with the Mercedes. So there's your USB, there's your cup holders, there's your storage there, more USBs, all that kind of stuff. And obviously you can move the steering wheel just like in the Mercedes, because it is just the Mercedes SL, just one that's been taken to bits and made a bit more interesting. Well, a lot more interesting. Let's do something. Like in the back seat we've got George, cameraman. Have a look at George, squeeze it in there. How are you doing there, George?
Not great. I don't think I've got any kneecaps anymore.
Okay, that's fine. You stay there, right, because we're going to do a little thing, see what it's like with two people in the back. So I'm going to jump in the back. It's going to be like a normal GT, this is, which means not good. Ugh. Let that move forward. I'll get in. This is probably where I do my back. Okay. I wonder if this is, I can't remember if it's worse than a 911. The seat backs up right, isn't it? Where did you put in? Oh, there. Oh, hello. I'll tell you what, even back here, it's all just like luxurious. You can't really see, but look at that. Even the bits that no one's going to see, back in here, it's all just lovely. Do you know what we should do? Lewis, you jump into the driver's seat. Let's see if you could actually fit in there. Do you want to pass me your camera? Hopefully it's on autofocus. If it's not, we're screwed. Is it on autofocus?
No.
Okay, so I'm very blurred right now. So you get yourself comfortable. Go on, shut the door. So we could get a lift back if we absolutely really needed a lift back, couldn't we?
A short lift back.
A short lift back. Do you know what? I think this reconfigured body makes it more practical in the back. In the normal GT, it's got much more sloping roofline, and so headroom's worse. This is better to be in the back. Believe me, George, you don't know. You feel like it's uncomfortable, but it's better than a normal GT's rear seat. But what have they done to the boot capacity? Because the normal GT actually has quite a decent boot. As with the rest of the car, Brabus have retrimmed everything in the boot, like everything. Look, so you've got the same kind of lovely leather patterning there. All these little bits have been anodized as well, look. And of course it's lined with Alcantara. Even here, look, we've got some shiny trim here rather than the standard like boot clasp. There is something rather annoying though, right? If you look here, you've got a speaker, which is good, you want a speaker, but I think with the normal SL, you have these parts there hollowed out, so you could squeeze some golf clubs in there. But Brabus have a solution, and it's this little button here. Pull that, it releases the rear seat, so you can then, all you do have to lean in, fold them down. So you could put your golf clubs there. You're probably wondering what this big hump is. This hump houses all the battery shenanigans for the plug-in hybrid system. So that's the same on the normal SL anyway. It kind of gets in the way of things. However, the electrification system should help with this car's low-speed driving experience, but does it? Okay, I'm heading out to the Autobahn, and I'm acutely aware of having to drive past the traffic and stuff down these narrow German streets because of the value of this bodywork. If I scrape it, I am going to be in a lot of trouble and potentially exposed to a huge cost. I mean, the car is just the same to drive as a normal like SL. It's fine, but it's just that added pressure that is on my shoulders. Definitely don't want to curb the wheels either in the narrower sections, because they're like 20 grand a piece. Forged alloy wheels. Do you know what? I could go full electric. Let's go full electric. There we go. Engine's off. I'm now electric. Ah! They got too close. The pickup of the electric motor is pretty good as well. It's all you need in town. I'll just stick with it. Although it's only about 9 miles of range that you get. Actually, I might put the engine back on because I need as much battery as possible to get full power on the Autobahn for that top speed run. No, yes. Just wait, guys. I know I've probably got bags of room, but this is just tense. Oh, listen to this. That blow off is really cool. much more pronounced than the standard car. Doesn't get boring doing that. Sounds like an old steam train when it just like releases a load of pressure, like psh.
And there's a very good reason why it sounds so much better than a normal AMG SL or GT, because under that gorgeous carbon fibre bonnet is a seriously upgraded engine.
Look at this. First off, this red carbon fibre engine cover looks lovely, and key thing here, 1000 denotes the horsepower and 4.5 litres. You see, Brabus have actually increased the bore and the stroke of the standard 4-litre twin-turbo V8 from AMG. They've fitted new forged pistons, upgraded connecting rods, they've improved the turbo, so you've got new turbos on it, you've got new downpipes, you have an extra ECU for added power.
The standard twin-turbo V8 in the E-Performance SL has 612 horsepower. The engine in this Brabus has 796 horsepower.
Now they haven't done anything to the electric stuff because it's a little bit confusing, so you still get 204 horsepower from the electric motor. So combined you have that 1000 horsepower plus a colossal 1820 newton meters of torque, which is 400 newton meters more than the standard SLE Performance. Wow. Okay, let's launch this thing, see what it'll do 0 to 60. Specialist timing gear is set up. Wow. The traction was incredible, the performance amazing, and the time 2.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour. Whew. Now that run was slightly down then up, so I'm going to run it in the opposite direction for an average. That was a 2.6, so average, who cares? 2.6, 2.5, all good. Wow.
But before I test this car's top speed on the Autobahn, I want to make sure its brakes are up to the job.
Okay, here we go. Brake test from 60 miles an hour. Full emergency stop now. See what the distance was? 30 metres. That's really good.
Officially, this Brabus has the same 197 mph top speed as a standard SLE Performance, but based on that incredible acceleration, I wouldn't be surprised if it could crack the 200 mph barrier, and I was desperate to find out. But things didn't go exactly to plan.
Now, is this section D-restricted? Let's find out. Doesn't appear to be. It's saying D-restricted, but now it's saying 130 on there. I'm noticing a bit of wind noise. I'm not sure if it's from the new structural design. It's not intrusive, but I'm just noticing it a bit. This is interesting. I'm on the Autobahn doing the speed limit 130, and I've just put it into electric power, so it's just cruising along. On electric power, that's cool. I'll probably rinse through my battery at this rate, so I'm going to put the engine back on. I can tell this car's just wanting to go, and 130 that's just it, not really flexing its muscles at all. It's barely at a jog. Here we go, it's de-restricted. Oh, my car said it was, and then we got the sign. Oh dear, that's such a shame, that is. What a tease. The way this thing picked up though, that was intense.
I was gutted. All the sections of Autobahn I could find were too busy, and the Germans had lowered the speed limits. If I'd have been 5 minutes earlier, I might have been able to really stretch the legs on this Brabus.
This is becoming painful. Let's head to the Nurburgring.
But before we got there, I wanted to see what normal people would think about this insane Brabus. So I needed to park it somewhere with lots of people around so I could watch their reactions.
I'm really protective of this bodywork, so I don't want to just park randomly in a car park. So I've got an idea. This, being a plug-in hybrid, you can plug it in and charge it up. So I'm going to park in one of these R&T bays. Look, I can do. It's perfectly fine. In fact, I might do the pretense of plugging it in. I've parked it. That's some parking right there. Oh dear, look, it's the wrong connector. Doesn't do DC charging, look. No. Anyway, we'll just leave it there, it's fine. In fact, so that people don't complain, let's just put that down there like that. It looks like it's charging, doesn't it? It looks like it's charging.
A few people came to take a look, but most of them seemed more interested in why the car wasn't correctly plugged in than what it looked like. I suppose we are in Germany and people who drive electric cars probably aren't interested in 1000 horsepower carbon fibre shooting brakes. And that wasn't the only embarrassing thing that happened to me.
Yeah, it was open, wasn't it? Thank you very much. Dankeschön. I left my stupid charge port open and the guy spotted it. I thought he was just waving at the car because he thought it was cool, but he was actually just helping me out because I left the charge port open. What an idiot. Dankeschön. Let's check out the acceleration. Whoa, that was rapid. Heading to the Nurburgring. Next Ausfahrt. Until you're getting close to the Nurburgring when you see stuff like that. Here we go, Nurburgring. You can see bits of the track. Actually, do you know what? That was something in camo. And there's Hyundai plaques about the place. I wonder if it's a Hyundai day. They're testing something. That was some camouflaged Audi. Maybe they're testing at the ring today. Some Porsche. Was that the new electric Boxster? It seemed to be a convertible.
You radioed me when I radioed you about electric Cayman.
That's what I was just saying. This is cool. What's that? Oh, it's just a normal 911 turbo. There we go, we're at the ring. But it's not a tourist day, so no one ready to look at my car. How about these guys here? Will they look if I honk my horn? No, can't honk my horn, that's cheating. This guy maybe? Yeah, he's smiling at it. There's no one here to look at my Brabus. There's some guy taking a photo of his car. Let's pull up in front of his frame. Look, mate, you're missing an opportunity. You shoot your old, E39 and you're missing out on this Brabus. Such a BMW guy. Classic.
But I had one last attempt to try and get this car the attention it deserves. I was heading to Brunchen Corner, which is one of the best spectator spots on the Nurburgring. It's also known as YouTube Corner because of all the crashes and near misses that have been filmed there over the years. So I'm hoping there'll be someone there who might actually be interested in my car.
Oh, don't crash into me, you little alpha. What cars have we got here? I can see a VX220, a couple of Mustangs and a GR Yaris. Well, I can just sit here and watch. Really ain't much happening. I think I'm going to get out and have a wee.
So it was all a bit of a fail, although it wasn't the car's fault. The terrible weather meant the Nurburgring was completely dead. The most attention I got was from these guys, who just wanted a picture of me rather than the car. And that wasn't the only annoying thing I'd noticed during my time with the Brabus.
The carbon Kevlar wheel wells look really nice, don't they? But here's a problem with them, listen. When you're driving along and there's some stones, you're going to get them rattling around in there. It might be like a little snare drum's playing. So obviously Brabus have tuned this car. They could do whatever they want with it. They fitted a new exhaust, but listen to this. Start it up. It's quite fruity. Is that in sports mode? There we go. It's good, right? Now give it some revs. It's nice. Now rev it higher. No, all the way to the red. Still got Mercedes soft limiter. Why didn't they remove that? It's just a bit of computer programming. Despite all the carbon fibre, this rocket actually weighs the same as the SL63E Performance on which it's based because of all the extra bits that Brabus has added back in. If you want to know the weight, 2.2 tonnes. It's like an SUV. These carbon fibre turbofans do look lovely, but they present a bit of a problem. The first is trying to get the little dust cap off the valve to pump up the tyre. Hopefully I won't drop this. Bear with me. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. I'm going to drop it. I can feel it's going to be dropped. Come on, you can do it. Don't drop it. This is a faff. Ah, got it. Bigger problem though is, you know, when you're trying to inflate the tyre, you've got like the air nozzle that goes over the end. You've got to be very careful not to chip this carbon fibre. Now you would normally want to just remove this like you can on the air things that you get on a Tesla, but this is screwed in. So that must be a pain, right? It is. Look, yeah, the man from Brabus is nodding. Okay. I want someone else to put that back on. I don't want to do it. If you look very carefully, you'll see that we've got carbon fibre weave there, then it sort of disappears and it just goes to like normal solid paint, and then the carbon fibre reappears. What's all that about? Well, it's because behind here you have special sensors for the blind spot monitoring. Unfortunately, they won't work through carbon fibre. So the actual carbon fibre part of the car finishes there, and this is filled in with Kevlar so that the sensor actually works. But obviously then you lose the weave, but sort of need it for safety. Shame though. You've got to be careful that the car doesn't serve you an uppercut when you open the boot. Look, that bit can get you under the chin. Anyway, that brings me on to 5 cool things about this car. So of course, being a Brabus, you can get bespoke Brabus luggage. And this is the feature in here, look at this. It says NFC, so you can actually ping the car's spec to your phone and keep it in your wallet. And the car spec is actually listed on the blockchain, so people can't copy it. And then if you're selling the car, and you can prove that it's a genuine Brabus. Because the Rocket is based on the SL convertible and not the normal GT coupe, you get the SL special seats with the air scarf, so they blow hot air on your neck. Nice. Obviously this is a very modified car, so the normal Mercedes warranty is invalid. However, Brabus give you a 3-year 60,000 mile warranty. Being a plug-in hybrid, you can charge it up overnight and then start the car in electric only mode so you don't annoy your neighbours when you drive away in the morning. This Brabus is a rare car. Now, it's not strictly limited in numbers, but the sheer nature of it will mean that it's quite limited. In fact, Brabus reckon around 25 will only ever be made.
Its exclusivity was the biggest reason I've been so worried about driving this Brabus. But after spending a day with it, I was feeling a bit frustrated.
Didn't really get to do a top speed run on the Autobahn. Didn't get to do much stuff at the Nurburgring. I'd say its mission failed.
We'll get them next time.
But for driving around in something that feels special, this car delivers, and I have to say, I absolutely love the way it looks.